NASA, or the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, has been the target of many people's frustration due to the vast amount of uncertainties that lie beyond the average person's field of view, whereas it seems like NASA has answers to almost any question you could ask, and maybe they're not giving it to us. Now, most people bring up the moon landing being fake or the idea of flat Earth when they talk about outer planetary conspiracy theories, but there is one that is infinitely more scary if found out to be true. In 1998, a dark object that had never been seen before was captured during the STS-88 space shuttle mission in Earth's orbit. Pictures of the object blew up once they were captured, with conspiracy theorists postulating that this anomaly was an ancient alien spacecraft that had been performing reconnaissance on the Earth for years, and that their attack could be imminent at any moment. And while that might sound crazy, when you see the pictures, a part of you has to just be like, yeah, what is that? That is pretty weird. But NASA saw all these crazy conspiracy theories and had an answer as to what this object was. And the answer was a blanket that had been dropped by one of the astronauts. The astronaut who lost the blanket, Jerry Ross, gave a statement to CBS News only 4 days after the image was captured and the same day the shuttle had landed. This could be due to the fact that the mission they were on, STS-88, was a week-long mission. This was the first ever space shuttle mission to the International Space Station and allowed the U.S. to establish their first module at the station. According to James Oberg, a space journalist and former NASA engineer, this is an image of what a thermal cover would look like and could replicate the figure seen in the images. He also provided these images of what is believed to be the same object as proof of it being the blanket due to its constant change in position, consistent with an inanimate object floating through space. After the object was spotted in low orbit, it re-entered Earth's atmosphere a week later and burned up as a result. But a lot of people push back against this blanket idea, saying that regardless of the optical illusion or how far away the blanket really was, there's no way it could replicate how large this object was that was captured in the pictures. And they also refer back to the timeline of the mission and when the shuttle returned back home on Earth as being very suspicious, as this timeline of events seems a little too perfect if you really think about it, and this really all seems more like a cover up as to a much darker secret. Well, Oberg says that this is merely an optical illusion and says that the footage recorded from the astronaut's view inside the shuttle is undeniable proof that this is the thermal blanket and not an ancient spacecraft.
Okay, well, back in.
Okay, it is. Надо на zoom on this
In
camera.
order to get it, you have to swing the arm 180 degrees. You're not have no way.
There, you can't reach it.
A little bit too far. Let's see what it does later. Actually,
Can you see it?
yeah, it goes forward. It means that it will go up.
Yeah.
So it could be close to them.
Another thing you'll see brought up by those opposing the theory is the 13,000 years figure numeric. This comes from a theory posed by Duncan Lunan in a 1973 magazine about tracing an unexplainable space signal recovered back in the 1920s from a distant star back to Earth. Now, I'm not sure if I believe that, to be honest, but it does seem like this number is always used as a way to make the claim sound more absurd than it really is, and more as a way to discredit the idea of the satellite as a whole being this unexplainable figure or object that could have extraterrestrial origins. So where do I stand on all this? Well, to be honest with you, I do think that Jerry probably really did drop that blanket, just based on the flight transcripts and the recording that they had from inside the actual space shuttle. But I don't think that's what the real question is. I think the real question is that blanket really the object that was captured in the photos? And to be honest with you, I'm really not so sure that it is. I've never been to space, and I probably never will, so I honestly can't speak too much to how objects look from inside a shuttle or how they would look from outer space. But what I can tell you is that our government has been doing terrible things and keeping us in the shadows for what seems like since the start of the country's conception. And honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if this was another situation of that happening. Or maybe this is just another piece of what seems like the infinite amount of space junk that apparently is orbiting our planet. Yeah, that's apparently an actual accurate depiction of what it looks like. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Is this really just a mishap and that's a blanket that's playing an optical illusion on our eyes and was happened to be captured on photograph? Or is that an ancient alien spacecraft that is doing reconnaissance and maybe could invade at any given moment? Regardless of whatever the answer is, make sure you guys stay safe and stay curious. And remember, they are with us.